Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza 6 with another autocross car build. My vehicle today is the 1966 Nissan Silvia. This was supposed to be the free car from the latest pack, but it kind of didn't really get released with the pack, and there's a sort of a sneaky way around of actually getting access to it. You can't buy it normally from the game. I will show you very quickly, though, how you can acquire this car if you want to have a go with it. In the career mode, you go into the Stories of Motorsport, go in the first one that you can do here. I go to the Classic Compact one. It doesn't matter about the series, it's cancelled or whatever. Go to buy car, and then it'll give you all the options of the classic compact vehicles that are here. And down the bottom, you can find the Nissan Silvia. Oopsie, I pressed the wrong button. There we go. You can find the Silvia. That's how you acquire. Only way you can get this car. It is currently not in the buy menus. To be fair, by the time this video comes out, maybe it'll have been sort of properly released. But yeah, if you want to have a go at this car, that's how you can acquire it. Anyway, I'm going to turn it into an autocross car. I reckon this could actually be pretty damn quick. This Silvia, we did see a couple of C-Class ones run in the last Versus Community. They were very fast. They had potential to be very, very fast. So, yeah, I'm thinking that this might be pretty damn good as an A-Class autocross build. All right, we shall first of all start with the tyres. Let's give it as bigger tyres as we're only going to get 245s on the rear. I would like bigger tyres, although overall this car is going to be very, very light. So hopefully it will work. My main concern with this, of course, is oversteer. Rear-wheel drive, relatively small rear tyres, relatively light, could potentially have some decent power in it. So yeah, oversteer is a concern, and I'm hoping we don't have too much of it, because that in an autocross build is a real killer. We can't be dealing with oversteer. Right, we have. Why did that have that already? Or maybe some parts were already installed because I bought one, like the pre-built ones for the championship. That might explain it, actually. Yeah, okay, either way, it doesn't matter because I'm going through here and going to be adding on all of these handling parts anyway, because that's what we're going to be wanting. Probably going to be changing the engine. We will have a look, see what PI this lot comes out at. Well, that roll cage should not add much weight. That's nice. And we will now take as much weight out of it as we can. So we're down to 1,955 pounds. Pretty light. Pretty light, this car. We've got 150 horsepower at the moment, up in C-Class. Now it is time to decide what we're going to do with the engines. We have got choices: 2.6 litre inline 6, we have got the turbo rally engine, and we have got, we can't use that in A-Class, the 3 litre V8 Racing, that's the Ariel Atom engine. I would love to use that engine because it is so light, but yeah, as you can see, it is already out of A-Class. I could fit it in A-Class, I have no doubt. I would have to drop out some handling parts. I'd really rather not for autocross. Turbo Rally engine is always an interesting one to work with. It's a very, very awkward engine to work with. Rear-wheel drive is not too bad. I have built some fast cars with a Turbo Rally engine, but it tends to be quite an unfriendly one. So I think for this, even though it is the heaviest of the engines, I think we're going to have to go for, do we reckon? I'm not sure we can actually get the standard. Let's just see, hold on. We might actually keep the standard engine if we can get the power required out of it, but I'm not actually sure we're quite going to get enough horsepower out of it. I don't think it might just about do it, but yeah, okay, we're going to try with the standard engine, and no, we're not going to try the standard engine. I don't think. I don't think that's going to quite work. Let's go for the Skyline one then. We will stick that in there. It is a little bit on the heavier side. Hopefully we can. Whoopsie, we can swap the exhaust. That'll get some weight back out of it. Yeah, some of the standard engines in these cars do not offer very much in the way of power upgrades. I mean, you see here, I've got 330 foot-pounds of torque, 330 horsepower in this car, and we're still not at the top of the A-Class. I don't know how much power the standard engine can get, but admittedly, this engine has added a little bit in the way of weight, but I'm not entirely sure we could get that to the top of A-Class. So rather than waste time faffing about with that, I will just simply stick this engine in. We will go through the rest of these parts. Again, I'm just sort of finding bits that hopefully will take off some of the weight. So, you know, air filter. The exhaust is the big one, really, for weight saving when it comes to the engines. Oh, actually, I've just had a thought. Do the turbo. Sometimes the turbos take off weight. No, the turbos only add weight on this car. Yeah, sometimes the turbos take off weight, sometimes they do not. Ooh, before I go do that, I was meant to come back and sort this out. I left it as it was because I knew I was going to be changing the engine, so I didn't bother upgrading any of this. We'll stick a clutch in, and now I do want to get the drive line on, which means we're going to have to find 1 PI. We'll stick the diff in as well. Always fun times when you've got that one awkward PI. Actually, what we could do, I'm pretty sure that's... bugger. Really hoping that was going to lose it, that one PI that we wanted. Now we've just got to find the right sort of combination of bits in here. Actually, what we can probably do is do that. That will work for me quite nicely. Right, there we go. The Silvia is built and ready to go. 400 horsepower exactly, 403 foot-pounds of torque in a car that weighs just 2,000 pounds. Good power to weight ratio in this car. Is all going to come down to will it be controllable? Fingers crossed it will be. I have some slight oversteer concerns though. So here we are at the Hockenheim circuit, ready for our 3 attempts with the Silvia. The current target time is a 2:05.6 set by the Volkswagen Beetle. That is a mighty, mighty quick time around this course. Can the Silvia challenge it? This stands a good chance of going very, very quickly. Will it be enough to beat the Beetle? I don't know, because as I said, that is a monumental time. My big concern is, will the Silvia be slidey? Will we have a little too much oversteer? That is always a concern with an autocross course. You don't want, to be fair, you don't want understeer, you don't want oversteer problems, because we've got such a narrow track to be dealing with. If this car has great grip, if this has plenty of rear-end grip, I reckon this could go pretty damn quickly. But we shall have to find out as we get ready to go with this car. There is much in the way of turbo noise from the Silvia. I'm already actually quite impressed. I really like the way this car changes direction through these first few gates. Traction isn't too bad either out of these corners, which is nice. I'm hoping for a decent planted rear end through here. Okay. We're going to have to take a little less speed through that section. Doesn't quite have the turning grip I was perhaps hoping. I mean, I was pushing it quite hard through there. Yeah, seeing as it was a first run, I might as well, you know, experiment a little bit with what we can do, what we can get away with in the car. The good news is, though, that the back end is nice and planted, even if I can't quite get it stopped. Okay, it doesn't have the brakes, which is curious. I was actually expecting this to get stopped pretty well. I mean, this is, what, 600 pounds lighter than the Commodore. It really doesn't get stopped. It really doesn't get stopped. It is very, very quick. So that's something to be contending with. I mean, when I'm saying the brakes are bad in these cars, this is comparative to stuff that has gone around here. I mean, all of these cars are very much handling built specifically for autocrossing. You need all of the handling parts you can possibly get when it comes to autocross. So, I mean, yeah, you know, for a normal race car, this being on race tyres, race brakes and so on in A-Class, it stops pretty well, but it's not quite as good as the likes of the Beetle, the Datsun and so on that have gone very, very quickly around here. Oh, there goes the back end. I thought it might let go eventually. It's pretty good go. The RX-7 has been the only car that I've had real oversteer issues. There is some understeer. It's a slightly curious one as well to drive. It can catch you out a little bit like the Commodore. The understeer can catch you out if you're not quite expecting it. There wasn't a thing that I was kind of expecting from this car. In all honesty, I was expecting the oversteer to be the main thing. Got to be aware of that understeer just creeping in if you get things a little bit wrong. Pretty good change of direction sort of through here, and then we can get on the power, and there's no massive problems. Okay, little bit of a scruffy ride. I think there were 4 time penalties in all of that, but I actually quite like the car. I've got to say, do quite like the Silvia. So, on to our second attempt with the Silvia. Got to cut out the mistakes, basically, with this car. Can't be affording too many of them, any of them, on an autocross course. But yeah, so I'm quite impressed with this car. I do quite like it. It's just I'm going to have to use kind of almost similar braking points as I was with the Commodore, because despite this being very light, it just doesn't have the braking performance in it, and it's also very, very quick accelerating down here. How much speed dare I take? I've done exactly the same. I want to take that wide line to get into the gate, and I've done exactly the same thing again, clipping that one on the outside. A little bit irritating, but we're going to have to bear that in mind. I don't think we quite have. Oh, okay, calm down, Nissan. I don't think we quite have the turning grip from some of the vehicles we've seen. It's very, very close, just not quite the same. Oh, that was fast as well through there. It's really quick if you get it right on the line that it can do. Well, that's pretty damn fast in a straight line down here, but then we've got to jump on the brakes, make sure we really get it slowed down, weave it through this section. Oh, there goes a little bit of understeer. It's almost like if you sit on that limit, it is lovely. The second you go over that limit, you've got big problems. Things like the Commodore, you could get away with if you pushed it just a little too hard. You know, no massive disasters befell you. Whereas in this, I feel, is if you push it just that fraction too hard, you're going to have a really, really big moment if you're not careful, or just have the problems with the car. If you can sit on that limit consistently, then you're going to be fine. Much more than that, though, and you're going to have problems. Yeah, the understeer through there is actually quite a lot, and then we get a little bit of oversteer as well. It just lacks that little bit of overall grip, I think, in the car. You just can't quite carry the same corner speed, but you are going to make up some of that time with incredible acceleration. It's really very, very bloody fast out of some of these gates, and the traction is good. The traction is something that I feared we might not have in this car, but it does pretty well. I'm not having any issues, and well, I mean, you can see from the telemetry, I'm being quite aggressive with the throttle in this car. It's up to the line, one gate, about a 5-second time penalty. Or a 5-second time penalty, sorry, added. So, yeah, I'm still liking the car. Let's see what we can get out of it in this final run. On to our final attempt with the Silvia. I've got to not clip that first high-speed gate. That's a good sort of starting goal with this. I think my concern pretty much with this car is I am not 100% sure it quite has the overall grip for this course. It's just not quite there, whether it be under braking or whether it be the change of direction through some of these corners. It can make up for some of it with its acceleration, but I'm not sure it can quite hold the corner speed. That's 106 miles an hour and very, very sideways. To put that in comparison, I'm pretty sure the Beetle was about 112, 115 through that corner and gripped. So, yeah, it's just not quite got that grip. It is a very good A-Class car. I have no doubt this would make an amazing A-Class car because of the speed, but for Autocross, it's not quite grippy enough because the demands of this course are so much. Let's have to have a little lift as I was running a tad wide. Still phenomenally fast down there as we weave our way through these next gates. Oh, don't let the understeer catch you out if you get on the power a little too soon. Now try and make the most of that acceleration, but you've got to be quickly back on the brakes. Yeah, the brakes are also a little bit of a letdown. The combination of the brakes not quite being as powerful as some of the cars we have seen, and the slight just lack of grip means that this is, I wouldn't say it's a particularly hard, certainly not the hardest car I've had to drive around here, but you've definitely got to be cautious. This turn here is a big danger area. Get too much understeer on the way through the first part, and then get big oversteer on the way heading towards the tunnel. So yeah, you've got to make sure you've got all of that balanced nicely. Were very nice around the hairpin though. Going to have a little dab on the brakes on the run up here. Again, we're running very, very close towards these barrels. Just a few more corners to go now with the Silvia. Get it turned in through here. Oh, really slow it down for this last wiggle towards the line. We got a little bit of oversteer at an inopportune moment. Blast to the finish. Oh, it's quick. It's quicker than I was expecting. 2:06.0. That's not quite what I thought I was going to be saying the time was for this for this car. I found something on that last run, definitely. 2060 is that's impressive. I still maintain that there is not quite the same overall composure with this car. Yes, I do like the livery. Fantastic livery on this car. Not quite the same composure, I don't think, with the Silvia as we got with the Beetle or the Datsun or the Alpha, for that matter. It's just, I don't quite have the same turning. I can't quite carry the same speed through a couple of the high-speed gates. But that acceleration is incredible. The acceleration in this car is absolutely immense. I have no doubt that this is going to be a fantastic A-class car, B-class car, probably going to be a leaderboard car. I wouldn't be surprised by that, because you can get a huge amount of power. It's got 400 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque with a full handling build. You saw that acceleration, the straight-line speed that's got out of the corners, and it was still good enough through the gates. And I mean, these gates are far narrower, far tighter than you get on a normal race circuit. So, as an A-class car, this is immense. And as an autocross car, that 206.0 only puts it 0.4 of a second down on the Beetle. It's almost a second quicker than the Alpha 4C. That is an impressive time from the Silvia, a car that yeah, there is a couple of issues with. The brakes as well are another big one. Making sure of getting this thing stopped. So, yeah, Silvia is a mighty, mighty impressive vehicle. Not quite the grip, the ultimate grip there to challenge the Beetle in the end, but came very, very close. Closer than I was expecting as well after those first couple of runs. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.